Welcome back to Simbright Fashion Academy YouTube channel for another interesting tutorial. In this class, I'll be teaching you how to make this beautiful halter neck princess dart top, as you are seeing right here on the thumbnail and on the dress form, and it has a bra illusion, so you can see the halter neck right there and the sweetheart neckline, too well sewn with perfect inseam finishing. Okay, so it really has a bra illusion because we didn't pad this at all. So if this is what you want to learn, please stay tuned to the end of this tutorial. Thank you. In this class, I'll be showing you how to make this beautiful halter neck bustier. So to make this halter neck bustier, I've already drafted my basic bodice pattern. What I have here is my basic bodice pattern front, and what I have here is my back basic bodice. So the first thing we are going to do now is to come in. We are going to come in from here by 1.5, and I'll make a mark. This is a halter neckline, and we are going to recreate the neckline. So from that 1.5, I will have it slant into the armhole. So I'm creating a new neckline for it. So the next thing I will do after that is done is to take my bust radius from my bust point line. This is my under bust point line. So I'll take the difference. So the difference, I'll place it, which is 3.5. I'll place it to form my bust radius. Okay, so I'm forming my bust radius. So if you want your neckline to go into your bust area directly, you can, but you can also add half an inch, which is 4 inches. So I'll raise up my tape and mark my neckline. So what I'm marking here is my neckline. Can you see? I just added half an inch to my bust radius. So I'm going to place my pattern ruler on that line, on this line I made, and I need to make that sweetheart curve into the chest line like this. So it depends on how deep you want this part to be. So I'm connecting it to my chest line. So this is the chest line. So the next thing I'm going to do is on this line where I have my chest line, on this line where I have my neckline, I'll come in from here to this point. I'm going to use the width of 2 inches. So I'll mark 2 inches from here to here, 2 inches. That is the width of the halter neck line. So from here, I'm going to connect directly to my neckline. So you can see we have formed the halter neckline. So the next thing we want to go over is the under bust tightening. So to tighten our under bust, we also have a detailed video on how to tighten your under bust. So this is my center front line. So I placed my tape on the center front, and I'm going to measure my under bust circumference divided by 4. This is what I have, and what is left remaining, I will impute 0.25 here and the rest of it here. So please go back to the channel and watch the best method of tightening your under bust. After watching that, you can use it to tighten this under bust perfectly. So I place my tape this way, and I come back my pattern ruler, I place it this way. So I've contoured the under bust, as you can see. My dart intake here is 1.5, so I connect it directly, 1.5. So here is my under bust tightening, and that is what we are going to cut out to form our bustier. My center front is on fold, as you can see. So now the next thing is to create a princess dart for this. We are going to use a princess dart for this, so I'll just go ahead and take what I have right here. The whole of this gave me 10.5, and the midpoint here, this is it. So I'm going to step down by 1 inch on this. Okay, so once I step down by 1 inch, I'll just go ahead and place my pattern ruler and connect. So I'm placing my pattern ruler and connect right away to that point. So once I've connected to that point, I'll come out a little bit by 1 1.5, okay, by 1 inch, sorry, from here to here by 1 inch. So once I come down by 1 inch, I'll connect that 1 inch back to my armhole, and that forms a princess dart for us. So this is what our front pattern looks like right now. So we are going to go over to the back pattern before we come back to the neckline. Remember, this is an inbuilt or built up collar halter neck design. So note that when we wanted to redraft the armhole, from the normal armhole we came in by 1.5. So from the back I also come in by 1.5 and recreate my armhole. So I'll just place my tape here and recreate my pattern ruler and recreate my armhole. So now I want you to note that this is a halter neckline. So we are going to measure what we have from here to here for the built up collar. So you place your tape from here to here. So here I have 3.25. You can also measure it this way. I still have 3.25. So this 3.25, please ensure you write it down. We are going to add up pepper here. We are going to add up our pepper right there. So once this pepper is added, we will use it to complete. Alright, so before we continue, I want us to contour what we have at the back first, okay? So you need to contour the back because we are going to have a zipper at the back. So for my back contour line, I'm going to take 0.75, which is 3/4, and I'll place it from that point to my neckline. So I've contoured it, and I'm going to replace what I have there. I'll replace it at 0.75, and I'll replace 1/2 inch on the chest line, okay? So you don't have any shortage at all. So this is it, and I'm done. So the next thing now is to start alterating what we have on the built up neckline, or a built up neckline. So you have to take what you have here from here to here. The measurement from here to here is 3 inches. From here to here is 3 inches. So this 3 inches has to be the same from here. Can you see? 3 inches. We still have our 3 inches right there. So we want to start marking out what we have now on the neckline. So I want to make a little alterations for this built up neckline. I'm going to put a pepper below, so we'll be able to create that neckline. So I'm placing my pepper below. So if I do that, this is what I have. So now I'm going to create my neckline. My neckline, I'll come in from here at 1.5. So if I come in by 1.5, I'll reconnect that 1.5 back to what we have right there. And it's at this point that we are going to take our the ruler. You are going to take your ruler straight. So I have 1.5 from here. Okay, so from this point I will raise my collar once again at 1.5. So now this measurement that we took here, this 3.25, now we are going to measure that 3.25 here. Okay, can you see where I place my tape? I'm going to measure it here, and I'll draw my straight line. So here becomes the center back line for the back. So when we will start sewing it, of course you see all the alterations we made here. You understand it very clearly. So I'm going to cut out my, so I'm cutting now. So this is a princess that I'll just cut on this line and stop there. Then I want to start from my collar to cut. So I'll cut my collar at that point. I'll go into the neckline this way. Then I'll also go into the armhole. This is the new armhole. Please take note of that. Then cut out the princess dart. Then I'll cut through my shoulder seam line. Okay. So I want to go over and cut through the center front line into my sweetheart neckline. Can you see that? Then we'll cut out the darts. Because this is a bustier, take note, is a bustier. So I'll just cut out here and cut out here. Can you see that? Then I'll close up my bust dart, and the front pattern is ready to be transferred to fabric. So I'll just close it up here. So it's actually ready to be transferred. Alright, so this is it, and this is what your front neckline looks like. Can you see? So by the time we start sewing this now, you are going to see. So this part now is going to be at the back. It's going to be at the back this way, okay, to form the neckline for us. So now I'll set this aside, and I'm going to cut my back. So I'm cutting what I have of my back. So the pattern for the back, I can hold my dart. I might decide to take off the dart. I might decide to make a princess dart too for the back. So whatever you decide, the back is not a problem. I can even decide to eliminate the back. So I'll just cut through here and cut through my shoulder seam. Then cut through the armhole line. Then I can decide to eliminate my dart. So if I'm taking away this dart completely, it means my measurement from the center back, I'm going to take my real waist measurement now. So my waist measurement here is 9, and my chest measurement is 10. That is after dividing by 4. So I'll reconnect my real waist and my new chest line. I'll reconnect them. So I'll cut out from here, as you can see, and then I'll cut out what I have right here. So this is what our pattern looks like right away. Done cutting, and this is what our pattern looks like. Can you see? So this is the front pattern piece, and this is exactly what we are going to transfer to fabric now. And this is the back pattern piece. So by the time we fuse this together, that's why I told you now your neckline has to be equal. So by the time we sew it together right here, of course you see how we are going to sew it. So this part has to be equal to with what we have here. That is the built up collar neckline. Okay, so let me transfer them. Alright, so I'm done cutting my pattern pieces right now, and I'm going to explain to you what I have here. So this is the front piece of this dress. So you can see I've added my seam allowances 0.5, 0.5 on the armhole, 0.5 all around. For this I added 0.5, 0.5 on the hem, and 2 inches by the side to sew it. Then I have the back. The back I added 0.5 on the armhole, 0.5, 1 inch for my zipper, 0.5 and 2 inches. So I'm going to make my my notches on the under bust and bust points, because I'm going to sew this and this together right away. So we have a detailed video on how to pad and sew your bustier on this channel. So please, I would like you to go back to the videos if you don't know how to fuse these two together. Okay, so we have that video, and at the end of this video you also see it on the end screen. So this part is unfold, and I have both lining and fabric. I have both lining and fabric. So I have 4 pieces of this, left and right, lining and fabric, and I also hairstay. So make sure you hairstay. In fact, when you watch this video, you'll be able to know how to pad your bustier effectively. So I'm going to separate my lining right now, and I'm going to work on the fabric. So I'm taking off my patterns, separating my lining. So I'll go ahead now to sew. So this is what we have right here on our dress, as you can see. So I'll just go ahead to sew this to this. So if you watch that video, you'll be able to know how to sew your bustier. Okay, I'm not padding this dress. I just want to demonstrate to you how this can be sewn. The neckline can be sewn. So I'll quickly go and sew the bustiers right now for lining and for fabric. Then we'll be back to sew the neckline. You can see I've sewn my bustier. Okay, like I said, this class is not to show you how to make a bustier. So we have a detailed video on how to sew our bustiers appropriately. But if you see here, you can see we have the illusion bustier, and I've done that for both lining. This is the lining, and I've joined the bustier parts, as you can see right there. So the next thing we want to do now, we will be taking this stage after stage. So for the front piece now, I'm going to match these parts together. I'll sew this part at 0.5. I'll also do the same for the front piece. I'll also sew at 0.5. So I'll do that now. So when you are done sewing the neckline, this is what you will have. Can you see? So you can now go ahead and open up the seams and give it a good press. Okay, so I did the same for the lining as well. So this is what we have for the neckline. So once you press it down, it relaxes for you. Okay, so we are done with the front coupling. So next we want to go over now is the back. So this is what we have on the back. So I'll take off my pattern. Note that we are going to have a zipper at the center back. So because we are going to have a zipper at the center back, and we still have a collar, so I'll be using the fabric part to demonstrate to you what we are going to do, and we'll still do that for the lining. So this is what I'm going to do now. I'm going to sew from here only at 1 inch. Our zipper will start after 1 inch. From the beginning, I will sew at 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch. So let me sew it and show you what. So now I'm done sewing the 1 inch. Okay, so my zipper allowance is 1 inch, and I have to sew 1 inch and stop. So my zip is going to be, I'm going to sew my zip in between. Okay, I'll start off my zipper from here. That's where my zipper is going to stop, because we have a collar design right here, so we cannot leave this part open. So this is what I mean, and whatever I'm doing for this fabric, that is what I'm going to do for my lining. So to match the collar, this is the back piece now, and we've identified the zipper position. So at this point, we want to sew the collar of the front piece together. So the first thing we are going to do now is to place a little notch. Okay, I believe you are seeing. Let me keep it this way for you to see clearly. So I'm going to place a little notch here at an angle at 0.5, just little. I'll also do the same this way, just little. Okay, just little notch where we have the neckline, so we'll be able to sew it in. So now I'll turn it aside, and I'm going to place from my seam line of the armhole. So I'm going to match this neckline. Can you see? While we have the notch outside there, so I'll just match it like this. Then once that is done, I'll also bring in this one, right side to right side. I'll start matching it from can you see? So if you cut accurately and draft accurately, everything matches for you. So can you see? So now I'm going to sew 0.5 to this end. I'll sew 0.5 to this end. Once I'm done, we'll come back to sew the neckline to it. Okay. All right, lovely people, so now you can see my stitches. Okay, so I left 0.5 inch from here and I stitched to the end. I also did the same and I stopped at 0.5. So that will give us opportunity to match up the neckline. Can you see? To match up the neckline. So in matching this part, I always love to open my seams and insert my pin and then open up the seam for the back and insert my pin. So once you do it this way, it helps your stitches to be together. Okay, once you see them, they will align together. So you can see the neckline now is very easy. Can you see? Very easy for us to sew at that point. So I'll just go over to my machine now and I'm going to sew this neckline. Can you see how it's easy for me to match? So I'll sew it with the notch I have here, 0.5, till I get to this. All right, so you can see my seam lines from notch to notch right now. So I'll take away my pins right now. So once I turn this collar, this is how it looks. Can you see? Can you see? Everything looks neat and fine at that point. So I'm going to repeat the same process for the lining right now and we'll move to the next step. So now we are done with the neckline. So you can see what the neckline looks like from shoulder seam line to shoulder seam line, and we still have a zipper allowance. So this is what the front part of this dress looks like. Can you see? So the next thing is for a perfect inseam finishing, we need to finish up our dress very well so you don't see any seam at all. So we are going to match what we have on the lining. Okay, so we are going to lay it open this way for front and back, and then we are going to match right side to right side. So for front, this is my front, this is front for lining. You can see how I'm laying everything now. So I'll pick up the collar first. I'm going to pick up my collar, open up my seam, match this collar, okay, the same way I told you to match it. So right now I'm matching the neckline all around, making sure all the points are. So you can see my stitches around my neckline. Okay, so this is the front piece and the sweetheart part. So you can see I started sewing from the center back, as you can see. So I went 0.5 inch. So when I came to the part I have my sweetheart, I raised my presser foot up. You know the way you sew your yoke. So I keep going. Once I get here, I raise my presser foot and all that, and I stitched right on top of my pins. So before I top stitch, I thought of showing you at each point of the sweetheart, just make a notch so it will be easy for you to turn. It will be easy for you to turn. Can you see? Just keep making notches, especially at those points. Then you take off your pin. Can you see? So I have notches here, and once I go over now for my top stitching, I'm going to flip all the seams on the part of the lining this way, and I will lay my top stitching. Okay, I'm going to top stitch and iron right now. All right, so this is what your dress is going to look like. Okay, so you can see the neckline, and the neckline runs into the collar. Can you see? That is the collar we have right there. So because we didn't pad this dress, I'm going to open up the lining piece. So the lining piece, I've already given it a good press. So we are going to have our bra cup sewn on it like this. Okay, so I'm checking the number of my bra cup. Okay, I have one at this point and the other at this, so I'm going to keep this my bra cup. So we also have a detailed video on how to choose your right bra cup for your corset or for your bustier on this channel, so you can check it out. So you can see how I place this bra cup. This is the apex and this is the apex. So I'm going to pin the bra cup apex to apex. You can see how I place the bra cup. I place it right on top of the lining, making sure the under bust matches with the under bust. You can see where we notched, that is the under bust. So you can also secure that part to hold it firmly. Okay, so I'm going to do the same with this. This is a princess dart, and we can also attach a bra cup to it. So this is the bust apex, and I pin box apex to bust apex. So as you are doing this, please make sure you have the under bust laying exactly at where you have your under bust. So now I'm going to use my machine. Now I'm going to sew on top of this cup all around right now. So right now I'm sewing around the bra cup, starting from the center front, taking it all around to the other point as well. All right, so this is what it looks like on the front piece. Can you see the bra cup is well relaxed on the front piece, and this is what it looks like on the back. So by the time you lay the main fabric on top of it, can you see, so you actually have your cup sitting appropriately where you want it to sit. Can you see? So that looks nice and easy for you. So note that what we have right here is a sleeveless dress. So since it's a sleeveless dress, I'm going to turn around this sleeveless dress. I'm going to sew. You can see how I'm turning it. Okay, I'm turning it right side to right side on the shoulder seam line. Okay, so at this point I'm going to sew I'm going to secure with my pin, and I'll sew from one end to the other, from one end to the other. Remember, we don't want any seam to show at all. So you can see how I turned it. So this part can actually be technical, but you have to watch and watch it again, and as you are watching, you are practicing what I'm doing. So from that seam line, I drop my presser foot, and I'm going to sew my armhole at 0.5. So I'll back stitch. I'm sewing at 0.5. So I'm done with that part. I'll also flip this other part. Remember, I'm still sewing on the armhole part, so I'll flip it this way. Can you see how I did that? I'll flip it this way from the center point. Once again, I'll arrange it appropriately, starting exactly at that seam line. I'll drop my presser foot and I'll sew from that point, and I'm going to close up the sides, the armhole at 0.5, so you can see what I'm doing there at 0.5. So right now I'm done. I'll take off my pin, and then this is what my sleeve looks like. Can you see? So that is what it looks like. So by the time you give it a good press, it relaxes nice and flat for you. Okay, so you note that it's a sleeveless dress. So you can also top stitch to the extent you can. You can top stitch to the extent you can, flipping all the seams to the part of the lining. So after I'm done sewing right now, this is the armhole which we just stitched right now. So I'll just flip my seams to the lining part and top stitch. So this top stitching will help your lining to lay inside the dress, since it's a sleeveless dress. So you will just top stitch to the extent you can. So you can see me opening it up to the extent I can, and I'm done. This is where I can right now. Then I'll flip to the other side, start from the armhole and top stitch. So I'm done ironing my sleeveless armhole. So you can see it's neatly finished for the both of them. So if you follow that process, you have this sleeveless sewn accordingly. And this is our bra cup insertion. Can you see? So we have a bra cup on the princess dart. Okay, so this dress is actually looking beautiful. So the next thing we want to do is to close up what we have on the sides to have a perfect inseam finishing. This is how you go about it, so that inside the dress will equally look neat at the end of the day. No seam. Okay, no seam. So you have to match up seam line to seam line once again, and then match up what you have on this side, match up what you have on this side. Then I'm going to sew now from one side 2 inches, that's my seam allowance, and close it up. So I'll match it up neatly now and sew the both sides. Alright, so these are my seam lines. You can see that. So all I will do is to open up the seams now and turn the dress to the right side, then give it a good press. So you go ahead and give your dress a good press. Can you see? Open it up this way and press it down. So by the time you press it down, you can see the inside is neat for both lining and fabric. Make sure you take off your pin as well. So you open up the seam this way, and once you lay it, everything looks neat for inside and outside. Okay, so this is it, and we are done with this sleeveless princess dart built up neck collar. So all you will do now, if you're attaching the down part, you attach whatever you wish, a flare you want to attach, anything you want to attach, you just attach it round it. And this is my zipper. Then you go ahead and sew your zip, the last which is the last one. So thank you very much for coming to this tutorial, and if you are new to this channel, please kindly subscribe, turn on your notification bell to receive videos like this every day. Like this video, share to family and friends, drop your comment on the comment section and your suggestions as well. Thank you for coming. See you in the next one. Bye.